between Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Draymond Green physically assaulting Jordan Poole. They got into a physical altercation. Draymond Green actually punched Jordan Poole. And now that the video has been released, I'm going to play the video for you here very shortly, but do want to say for those, it is a, physical altercation, could be very graphic to some, because it is a pretty solid punch. This isn't just like a little skirmish that you see amongst players. Like, this is a full-fledged punch. Jordan sort of crumbles, and you see, like, it was a real fight. Like, this was a real, like, Draymond put force and weight into that punch to really try to hurt Jordan Poole. They were having their little, physical interaction. Before that, Jordan Poole pushes Draymond to get him out of his face, and then boom. They also are, chirping back and forth, and you got the TMZ video that, again, I'm going to play for you in a moment. I just wanted to kind of let people know, like, hey, this is pretty graphic. I know some people don't mind, but just for YouTube purposes and reasons, I got to let that be known. But yeah, here's that video, and then we will discuss it after. So there you have it. There is the video that was obtained by TMZ from a CCTV camera. Clearly, I mean, it's not the greatest quality in the world, but it gives you a pretty good picture, right? Now, for starters, I know some people are saying, Draymond, he assaulted him, this, that, and the other. I mean, Jordan Poole put his hands on him first. Granted, a push and a punch, hey, get off me, get out of my face, is a lot different than just getting clobbered by Draymond Green. Regardless, this is unacceptable. This is something that just can't happen. There's no reason for this. These are teammates. This isn't a boxing match. This is basketball. Whatever you're chirping, you're doing, whatever conversations you're having, like, you guys are teammates. This is supposed to be a brotherhood. You're trying to prepare and get ready for the upcoming season. You're trying to repeat. This is not the stuff you need. And the problem is that, like, if this was the first incident with Draymond, okay, like, hey, it was a rough moment. It happens. I mean, Steve Kerr got punched by Jordan. It happens. Guys get in skirmishes, guys get in fights. Sometimes there's fist fights, things like that. But I'm not saying that that's okay, because it's never okay. It never needs to come to that. There never needs to be a reason for why it needs to get to that level. But this is Draymond. I mean, this is something Draymond's done for quite some time. Getting physical with players, both his teammates and other teammates. He's just a knucklehead and a bully. And and look, what he provides, like, you need that intensity. Like, and Draymond Green is a very intense player, right? It's always game 7 of the playoffs for him. He's very intense, and you want guys like that. You want, a Dennis Rodman type player. Draymond Green is that guy too. But there's levels, and there's certain points. This is a practice. You're there to learn and just, work on sets and stuff like that. It should never have to get to that point to where you guys need to actually come fisticuffs in order to just resolve an issue. And now, again, it's something that I mentioned in a previous video. The problem lies is that now the Warriors are put in a position. The Warriors are already in a position to where they're going to have to make decisions. They're going to have to choose Draymond Green. They're going to have to choose Jordan Poole. They're going to have to choose Andrew Wiggins. Do they pay these guys? Do they give them the max? Jordan Poole is your young up-and-coming guy, right? And I'm not saying, like, he doesn't deserve to be punched, if it calls for it. But it's just, this wasn't that. This was a practice. It wasn't like Jordan Poole smacked them or something like that. And it's like, okay, he deserves to be punched regardless. I don't care if you're a rising star. You don't put your hands on me. But it wasn't that. They got, Draymond's casually walking, gets in his face, starts, Jordan Poole, get off me, and then boom, just gets clobbered. I don't think Jordan Poole expected to get suckered punched by Draymond Green. Like, he's just like, hey, man, like, it's not worth it, get off me, And look, whatever they were saying, whatever they were chirping, again, it doesn't need to get to this point. But this just is more antics. Draymond has a history of this kind of stuff. He's somebody that has done this stuff repeatedly. He chased Kevin Durant out of Golden State. Who knows what could have continued? Yeah, they won a championship still, but still, maybe they would have won several more. And it's just, Draymond he's not worth the money that he wants. He's not worth the antics and action anymore. Like, he is a very valuable piece for the Warriors. Don't get me wrong. What he provides is immeasurable in many ways. But the antics are getting old, and he's starting to phase himself out of the Warriors. The Warriors are deep. They're young. They have the up-and-coming guys. Steph and Clay, they could play till they're 50 just because they're such good shooters. They could develop into the Ray Allen role if you need them to. And you got these young guys that are very impressionable that you're trying to get to buy into the culture, buy into the system, stuff like that. You heard the reports that Jordan Poole has just been kind of arrogant and cocky because he's getting a paycheck and stuff like that. And that may be the case. Now, the Warriors have came out and said, no, that's not the case. But look, come on. That report came from somewhere. Somebody said something, unless they just completely made that up. But it makes sense. Still, it doesn't need to get to the point where you're physically punching your teammate because of something he said or because he thinks he's getting cocky or whatever. It's not necessary. It's not what you need. And I just think Draymond Green's value to this team isn't what it once was. Him as a player isn't what it once was. He's not as, intricate and important and significant as he used to be. You got a lot of other pieces. Yes, he runs the offense in many ways, so if they were to get rid of him, they'd have to figure that out. But when he misses games or he's not in the game, they're fine. And Steve Kerr is a good enough coach to figure it out without Draymond. You have guys like Kuminga, who's basically the same height, same size, just more athletic, more skillful, younger, all that stuff. Like, you don't need Jordan Poole, or you don't need Draymond Green the way you used to. And the problem is now you're going to have this hanging over you the entire season. You have Jordan Poole has a completely different perception over this. Now they're saying that they're going to deal with Draymond internally. Like, what are you going to do? You got to set an example. You got to suspend him. You got to do something because now it just looks like, you're taking Jordan's side and Poole's going to want out. And look, he's a restricted free agent. He doesn't really have much of a choice. But do you really want a guy that's just doesn't want to be there? Or, he calls you, he says, it's me or Jordan, or it's me or Draymond. You need to pick which one of us do you want on this team because I don't want to be here anymore as long as he's on this team. It's just unnecessary BS that you don't need because Draymond can't keep his cool. You're the veteran. You're the leader. You're the guy that's supposed to be setting the example for this team night in and night out. That's what your role is on this team. And when you're not performing and giving that type of role, what do you need it for? What value do you have? He wasn't very great this season. He wasn't so good. Like, oh my God, you really need Draymond. There were tons the whole year. It was like, is Draymond declining? Is like, are the Warriors better without Draymond? I mean, if you even look at some of the numbers, they performed better at most of the season without Draymond Green. Because he just didn't have that factor. He's a liability offensively. It's not worth the headache. You got too many young guys, too much talent on this team. You're trying to continue this dynasty even beyond the big three. And now Draymond, he thinks he's a max guy. There's not a team in the league that would give him a max. I mean, well, maybe. There are some pretty bad run organizations, but no team should give him a max. Right? And he may be worth it for the Warriors just because of what he provides, but he's not providing that anymore. And he's giving you these kind of things and then like, oh, I need you to sign me a max. Like, no, you're goofy. You're going to pay $1 billion in luxury tax if you give Draymond, Poole, and Wiggins a max. Like, it's insane. There's no way they're going to have to do that. Wiggins, I think, is much more valuable than Draymond Green. Yes, Jordan Poole, I think, would be the best trade asset. I think you'd get the most for Jordan Poole if you were to trade him. And I do think the Warriors don't need a third splash brother. They need guys that can, play defense, help initiate the offense, stuff like that. Guys like Draymond, I think they need more. But Jordan Poole, eventually, Steph and Clay are going to age themselves out, right? And become a Ray Allen type role. So Jordan Poole is eventually going to be a huge need for this team. And you got him now. You got him young. Why not grow and develop him? He's only going to get better as time goes on. It's just, I think you keep Jordan Poole. I think you keep Andrew Wiggins, you keep Jordan Poole, and you move off of Draymond Green. I think that's what you do, and you try to find another piece that can kind of play the Draymond role. Maybe you can kind of develop Kuminga into that, or get somebody else, get another player. The Warriors are great at finding talent, finding gems. I just think that this was a knucklehead decision. This was just silly. It wasn't necessary. Look, should Jordan Poole have put his hands on Draymond? No. But again, pushing somebody and telling them to get off me is not the same thing as just boom, sucker punching them in the face. And look, I've always said I'm a firm believer of if you put your hands on somebody, you better be prepared to get your hands put on back. But the teammates. This wasn't at a bar. This wasn't at a club. This wasn't, on the street or something. This was in the practice. Their teammates. Jordan Poole's not looking at Draymond as like, oh, this guy's going to just try to knock me out right now. He's looking at it as like, Draymond, like, hey, we're brothers, we're teammates. You're being a knucklehead right now. Hey, get out of my face, man. Get off me. Get out of my face. Push him, and then boom, you get like he never expected it because he's not in an environment where you expect it. I just don't think that there's no defending Draymond here. This is terrible. It's an absolute terrible look. He is a bully and a knucklehead, and this is just completely unnecessary. This is your teammate. This is just unnecessary drama that you're adding to the Warriors, and you're supposed to be the leader. You're supposed to be the guy that's setting the example, that's setting the tone, that's setting just everything night in and night out, and he dropped the ball. And again, he has a history of this. If this was a one-time thing and things just got heated and escalated and got carried away, all right, fine. Yeah, it was bad. I mean, there's still no defending him, but I'm saying, like, you can kind of say, okay, look, he doesn't have a history of it. It's just, it was a bad night, whatever. They got into it. All is right in the world once again. But no, Draymond does this stuff regularly. It's like every year there's something that comes out of him just being an idiot. I don't know. I don't understand it. But anyway, again, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think of the footage? What do you think of Draymond? However you feel, love to hear your thoughts and opinions.